Joining the show. Joining the show. We have the only better sex therapist for the ex-Mormon community.
I heard you guys were going to be talking about polygamy and ethical non-monogamy.
I'm trying to talk my wife into letting me bone other women. How do I do it?
Well, that's the reason I keep on actually, Jared, because I've been following you guys for a while. And I've heard you say this multiple times. I've even seen some comments where you've talked about being able to convince your wife to let you, go out and get some little bit of the strange. And, it just surprises me because it's ethical. I mean, look, it's ethical. So this is the problem. So, if your wife is not into it, well, then she's clearly not ethical. And so, you just gotta explain to her that it's like the song, "Break Me, How Are You in Love." You just gotta explain to her you're giving her a high love by boning co-eds in the weekends. It's okay.
I've been trying to let her know that it's my truth, and she's not allowing me to live my truth.
Yeah, there's Jared's comment like on the screen right there. He says, "I've been trying to talk my wife into ethical non-monogamy for years. She seems to think I just want to sleep around and is very hurt by my desires, but I feel that she's almost being oppressive, Like, this is who I am. It's my sexuality, my truth. Thanks for all you do, Natasha."
Yeah, I mean, I think Natasha's really great. She's like totally on board. Like she took 2 years of training, and only 6 of those months were how to do the bulgo fry. The rest of it was completely removing any sense of decency or normality from. And then the final 6 weeks were like how to use this one strategy to completely undo any argument, which is like to say that all of your assumptions about what is normal is basically oppressive, and we've been having that from society, and we just need to break free from it, or else you're not ethical.
So I haven't even announced you here. This is a certified sexy vocal fry. Where were you certified sexy vocal fry?
Well, I studied for 2 years at the University of Who's to Say. It's basically, that was like the first day, and the times that lesson, which is like, well, who's to say, that you can't have a dungeon gimp, And then it was basically the same lesson every day, except there was this time where we had to expose ourselves to all kinds of freaky, sexy stuff, and then just after every 5 minutes, we would just pause and be like, "Well, who's to say that you can't, take dungeon sex gib people and stuff like it? It's okay, it's fine."
Is calling it freaky maybe a little bit problematic? Like is calling it freaky maybe a little bit?
No. We reclaim the terms. You reclaim the term and you elevate it and invert the norms. And so it's actually really impressive that you don't think that freaky is given a negative stigma.
Okay, I'm learning.
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to educate myself.
You have a background with LDS world and any sort of therapy of people trying to leave that and the norms and the patriarchy and the different things that were pressed down upon us as what reality should be and how sex should go, or is this a new world to you?
Well, it's I've been learning. It's interesting, because they had it right the first time. It's really weird to see all these people leaving the church because Joseph Smith married a bunch of people. He proposed the concept to them, and they ethically consented, and then they were polygamous, and then we got to leave, and then they leave, and then it's well, hold on a second, ethical non-monogamy. I Like Jared is like, I go to my wife and I'm just like, hey, my identity is all I have ever wanted to do is like go to a different girl every weekend, and this is just my identity. It's my truth. And if you don't like it, well then we're gonna have problems, and you're gonna be a baddie. And
I'd love to have a sit down with you and my wife, because this is making me
I
feel
could totally facilitate that.
Yeah. It's making me feel very heard and validated, because she always just invalidates me anytime I bring it up.
I know. What do we role play that right now? Okay, Chris, you could be you be the wife, okay? And the Jared, you be the you be you. Tell your truth.
Okay, honey, I feel like you're really stifling who I am and what I am. This is me. I'm trying to be vulnerable and raw with you. I'm trying to tell you that my sexuality is I want ethical non-monogamy, and I just want to get new poontang every week if possible. And you make me feel very invalidated and unheard when you shut that down.
Thank you for sharing that, Jared. You were so vulnerable. I can tell because you cried and you used the word ethical. So I know that you're being sincere. Now, Morgan, or Lady Jared's wife's person, Jared has just laid his heart out to you. He's ethically and vulnerably come out to you as, his true self. And, what you do in this moment will really set the tone for what kind of a person you are. Because, if you were to kink shame or somehow reject him, well, you have your choice. You could do that, but that's not really the most loving thing. It's not the most accepting or tolerant thing. So, with all that being said, now, how do you respond to Jared?
Well, when I agreed to come to this Thrive conference, the topic of the show was something about deconstructing Mormonism, which I just barely left a couple weeks ago, and you brought me up here on this panel out in front of everybody to let me know. Wait, there's actual Morgan. I gotta read from actual Morgan. Okay, Jared, let's open the marriage and see who can get more sex.
That's a common misconception.
Common misconception.
Jared is what is known as a bear. Okay. He's gonna have so many opportunities. You will not believe, Margaret. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So
I was hoping for women.
You take what you can get, Jared. And if you have a problem, well, then we are there.
I didn't know you were phobic in that way, Jared.
Yeah, Jared.
When I married
you just programmed socially to only see sexuality in one particular way. And you really have to deconstruct that, Jared.
I mean,
I know you've been working on deconstructing your whole monogamy thing, but you've got to deconstruct all of that.
In this Thrive conference, in the last hour of the Thrive conference, we talked about the panty ceiling. Was that called the cotton ceiling? And that's where you put huge emphasis on the genitals of people, and that's always frustrated me about you, Jared.
Yeah, Jared.
So much emphasis on what's between the legs. Like, are people just what's between the legs? Is the only reason you want to have sex with those other people is for what's between their legs?
Well, tell you what, Jared, hold on. One of the things that I offer because of my certified sex therapy training is we have a 3-week course where we gradually expose you to increasing levels of kink and sexual deviancy. And, by the end of that, you're actually going to be okay with all sorts of things. You're going to have to get all kinds of latex things and rubber things and, like a whole dungeon setup and everything. And then you're going to, you have to install a second door in your house so you guys can have light up all the strangers and stuff that you can have the other. It's gonna be great. You just have to totally undo all of those oppressive norms, your family and everything. Because who's to say?
I was kind of hoping, because one of Morgan's worries about this was if we have sort of a revolving door of pussy and I guess now cock. Now that you've talked me into that, just running in and out of our house. Like how is that going to affect our children? And I wasn't exactly sure what to say to her. I know she's being monogamocentric, and that's obviously
Yeah,
wrong.
very good. That's true. That is wrong, Mary. That's very good. You pointed that out right. I don't know. People get all hung up on like how are the kids gonna accept that? And just you've totally been programmed by it's like what stable normativity, family normativity, normal normativity. Like you gotta you gotta unprogram all that stuff. Because your whole assumption that kids are going to have problems with it is like, well, guess what? Kids have problems already. Like, people get divorced.
Oh.
Kids like get sad already. So if kids are already sad, then you don't have to worry about like anything.
This is
really.
just like another sad. It's like,
don't shame me. So, sweetie, I think what he's saying to you is don't shame me for not packing my parachute correctly because any type of skydiving could result in death.
Yeah. So this sad could maybe distract them from some of the other sads that cause harm. And so this could help reduce the harm of the other sads because they'd be so focused on this sad that
well, actually, your whole assumption of the sad is like there's studies that show that kids don't really care if their parents break up and they have a revolving door of strangers in the bedroom. Like there's ethical studies.
I forget about the studies.
I'm not going to cite them or anything. I just want to tell you.
I was going to ask
you.
Why are you laughing?
She gets fall out of character. Yeah, it's a nervous laughter in front of a
nervous
crowd.
laugh. She knows that now her husband. She knows how much game I've got, so she knows how much.
That's right. Wait, does that mean that she's less likely to open it up because she's afraid of losing you? Because the whole concept of holding on to you is itself oppressive. Even if she's like pregnant and she has a bunch of little kids and she actually needs somebody else stable in her life to be able to take care of life's difficulties and everything, like that's just thinking that's socially constructed. Who's this? Oh my god. She's come to tell you in person that she's not a bigot and she's going to open the marriage.
All right.
Morgan.
Uh-oh. We've got... This feels like a lot of tension here now. Like she's actually heard the request for the ethical
Morgan, let's both fry together, Morgan.
Oh my god. Okay.
Vocal fry in harmony. Let's get on the same vocal fry page here.
Wait, can they
vocal fry?
Yeah, they can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Wait, I gotta tell a funny story. You remember that Anthony guy on Facebook?
Oh yeah.
There was this guy, ex-Mormon, of course, because those are the best kind of people. And he got divorced after several affairs that he had on his wife, right? And so then he comes out on Facebook.
We call that serial non-monogamy, and it's ethical. If she doesn't like it, then he can do it, and he's not obligated to betray the confidences of his other partners. Just to correct you. All right, go.
You're such a good therapist. Yeah. So he comes out on Facebook. Like, turns out I wasn't cheating on her at all. I was just polyamorous the whole time, and I didn't realize.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes. It's that type of breakthrough that have really helped people evolve to their higher level of love.
Anyway, I'm sorry I invalidated you. I think you're gonna feel a lot better once we open the marriage and you see how many people I can bone.
Well,
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Praise the patriarchy. He probably would enjoy watching that. That's what that third seat is in the hotel rooms.
That's what that third seat is in the hotel rooms. So is it yucking my yum if I don't want to participate in the ethical non-monogamy? Or is
it's ethical and it's all about consent. Okay, so you don't have to consent. It's okay if you're stuck in your bigoted, old-fashioned ways. You don't have to consent. If you're like a bad person and you probably voted for Trump, you don't have to consent. It's all right.
So if I brought my dungeon gimp home for Christmas and my parents didn't immediately accept my dungeon gimp, what do I say?
What do you say to what? To your
What do I say
dungeon
to
gimp?
my parents to make them accept my dungeon gimp?
Oh, you just remind them that they're trapped in their, normative ways, and that maybe one day they would be just as enlightened as you.
So do you think that when you address these problems, having a really condescending and shitty attitude about it is more helpful?
Oh, condescending? Yeah, I think condescending and talking down to people because they're just, they're not quite as scientifically and evidence-based minded is actually a good thing because you're reminding them of the humility that they really need to have in the face of deconstructing, all of those problematic things that they have been programmed with in society and stuff because of the church and the patriarchy.
So what if I'm open to cuckolding, but I have not yet deconstructed capitalism and the patriarchy? So I like
Well, it's okay. Deconstruction is a journey, and you just have to start with one thing that maybe you thought was good in your life, and then be like, well, actually, it's probably bad, and I just have to look for the reasons for why it's bad. That's what deconstruction is. Like, you just take anything that you thought was good and be like, well, actually, it's bad, and then look for the reasons for it. There's plenty of reasons, like I can tell you, like Jerry probably he was probably struggling with anxiety and depression because he's just really, he's polyamorous and he just wants to bone a bunch of people and it's not like it's just because he's a guy, because not everyone's that way.
Whoa, you really opened my mind. I thought I was depressed because I'm fat, lazy, irresponsible, impulsive, and I don't get out much. But it's the whole time is because my oppressive mononormative wife wouldn't let me bang people.
That's right. Like all those bad feelings that you have, they're not your fault. They're the fault of the suppressive system that you're in, and you just have to find which part is oppressing you, and then rail against that online or go get certified.
I'm literally gonna cry.
What does it? How much does it cost, and how much time does it take to get certified?
It's only $300. You can take the course online, but you have to sign a non-disclosure agreement because if anyone ever leaked the content of this course, I would probably be kicked out of every community I was ever in because, there's so many people that are just hung up on all their, problematic, ignorant, unscientific, non-evidence-based ways of living. Like, where's the evidence that marriage and fidelity have anything to do at all with happiness or stability or child mental health or anything? Like, there's no evidence for that. But there are studies now that show that, lots of people, when they open up their marriage, they actually have a better life and a better existence, and it's a higher form of love.
That's amazing. Could you show me where those studies are?
No, you don't need to know. I'm certified. So you can trust me. And there's going to be other people that might say something different, but it's they're not certified.
Okay.
So, certified sexy vocal fry. Rob Henderson put out a study this week, and I've got this study cited on the screen. I don't know if that's breaking rules because I don't know if I'm just supposed to refer to an expert like you and not a patriarchal one like Rob Henderson or something like that. But he pointed out in the study that men are almost twice as likely to prefer polyamorous relationships. Would this not make it seem patriarchal? Like, why don't so much women get with the feminism of ethical non-monogamy?
Okay, I think I've learned a lot in this. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, certified sexy vocal fry.
Yes.
Is it because is the only reason that men are twice as likely to do it because the patriarchy has shamed women out of their sexuality?
Oh my God. Jerry, it's like you plied inside of a woman's mind and you just spoke her truth.
Oh, I'm so happy.
That's exactly right.
Thank you for educating me. What do I owe you for your emotional labor?
This was a freebie.
Wow. I feel like I'm taking advantage of you, though.
I'm going to be starting a life coach subscription service soon. And if you pay me $50 a month, then I'll be available to have joint sessions with you and your wife where you can allow me to triangulate anything that you want to shame her for. It's going to be great.
It's kind of like a
I
triangle or
mean,
a scissoring.
maybe more men prefer ethical non-monogamy, that like the women enjoy it more, whatever they get and stuff. So I don't know. I have studies that show the opposite of that guy's studies, and I believe in science, and I'm certified. What is Rob Henderson anyway? Like, he's
He's a
not a
social
sex
scientist.
therapist. He really doesn't have the credentials to talk
No.
about
Yeah.
this.
No, he's just
probably
he's just a
not.
social scientist who just gathered that data, but I guess he did it from a patriarchal gaze or viewpoint, I'm assuming. But
Why are you calling the gays patriarchal? They're part of the LGBT community, and they're not patriarchal.
I apologize. I thought the gays
Yeah,
were
well, I
something
can't
else.
stay here all night. I've got billable hours, and
That's the
so
other thing I was going to ask you. I thought it was like 450 an hour, not
yeah.
50.
Well,
Why are you
I
giving them
decided to throw the porch boys a bone. Just I needed to make sure that I could correct y'all before you start digging into one of my fellow certified sex therapists. Because anytime you're certified, anything you say is both ethical and right. And if anyone questions you, well, then they're just stuck in their old patriarchal, hetero, normative ways.
capitalism?
And yeah, exactly. And they just need to like deconstruct that and stuff. So when you
Do you
see
think
it,
maybe? Do you think maybe
What's
in one
that?
of our sessions? Do you think maybe in one of our sessions, you could talk about how my wife drunk shames me, and you could help her deconstruct her sobrionormative ways as well?
Of course, you could deconstruct anything. Like if it's healthy and good and stable for you, well, then you got to deconstruct it because the whole concept of health and good and stable, like who's to say what is those things, you know? So of course, that's one of my key services. Like I could deconstruct anything.
So I don't drink too much.
No, of course not. What are you talking about?
She's just sobrionormative. I don't do too
That's
much
right.
heroin. She's just lucidonormative.
Yeah,
All right.
well, no, you're gonna get some roses, so you're gonna kill your liver, and you're gonna have it. Well, guess what? Livers go bad all the time anyway. When you die, your liver dies. So, like, you don't have a problem with that. So, why do you have a problem with the drinking? Like, this is how you deconstruct things. By the way, you can deconstruct
You're saying,
anything.
like,
You just
what if my marriage ends because I did ethical non-monogamy?
well, like the whole concept that marriages shouldn't end. Like that's a problem. Like, guess what? Also, it's risky getting married because when you get married, your marriage ends, and so like, opening up your marriage is just who's to say that's the right way? It's fine. Anyway, I gotta go. You guys have fun.
Thank you so much for educating us.
I'll have
right.
to pull out $450 to get you back for another half hour.
Yeah. All right. Well, somebody boot me from here. I don't know how to get out of here.
Okay.
Hello.
All right, certified sexy vocal fry. You were a great addition to the show, and we've learned so much more. And now we've deconstructed and rethought all of our priors.
All right, everybody, say it with me. Ready? Hostess. Hostess. Why am I still there?
It's like the what's up frog.
Yeah, she needs you to kick her out.
Kick me out.